My Week 8 game against Kyle and the Chicago Granbulls didn't officially happen because Kyle had some computer issues and he wasn't able to make it to our battle time. So uh, we, like, after he came back and got his computer back and everything was good, we decided to have a fun game just to see how it would have went, because he did have a team prepared. He just wasn't available. So I expected him to bring Sun. He did not bring Sun. He brought, because he still has Ninetales on his team, and I thought, he would bring it. But anyway, I just led with Politoed, get Volt switched, and get a burn on Florges, and that's all that's happened so far. So I'm not really afraid of Florges, what it wants to do. I think I brought Mega Scizor this week, so I'm really not afraid of it, and especially with Moongus as well. This thing's not scary at all. Because it got burned with Scald, I'm not going to be able to put it to sleep, which is kind of a bummer, but I should be able to get a Sludge Bomb off if I want. Should be able to get a Spore off on something that wants to come as in comes Cofagrigus, and I've already fought this thing before. It was on Joe's team, and it carried a Culber Berry, but I think Kyle traded my Umbreon to Joe for it, which I think is a completely unfair trade. I think Cofagrigus is a way better Pokemon than Umbreon, but whatever. I guess Joe needed a Heal Bell or something. Anyway, after I get Cofagrigus asleep, I just switch out into Tornadus as he switches into the only thing that can really take a Specs Hurricane on his team in Rotom Wash, and takes it quite well, actually. I'm very surprised, but if I can whittle that thing down, I've got a clean sweep with, and I guess his Florges, would probably be in the way as well. I think he missed a Will-O-Wisp there, or a Hydro Pump or something, and I was just going to go for a Volt Switch, get out of there. He doesn't really want to deal with me. He wants to preserve that guy. As I go for Stun Spore, obviously it wouldn't hit Rotom Wash, but I didn't expect him to stick around and take a Giga Drain or something, so it was fairly safe to go for. And now that Latios is paralyzed, it's going to be slowed down for the rest of the game, except it's not going to be. Mega Scizor in the rain is going to be very good against Latios. Even if it wants to have HP Fire with Specs, it's not going to do very much, especially on a specially defensive set like this. And as I brought in Scizor to Latios, he switched out into Florges, so still not exactly a bad matchup for me. I'm just going to try and set up a Sword Stance as he goes for Aromatherapy. If I'd known he'd have that, I would have just gone for a Bullet Punch. I expected Rotom Wash to come in, actually, and went for a Brick Break. I got a bit predicty there, but didn't quite pay off. I'm going to go for Bullet Punch this turn, however, just to see what he wants to do. He goes for Protect, but now his Latios is not paralyzed anymore, and his Cofagrigus isn't asleep, so I'm not really in as good a shape as I thought I was. Rain is not up now. He got Predicty and did not expect Bullet Punch that turn. He thought I'd go for something else, and he tried to stay in and like heal up, I guess, but not what happened. Because Rain isn't up, I'm not going to be able to take especially a Life Orb HP Fire from Latios, so I just go to Politoed. It's especially a bulky set. I'm going to bait out a Draco Meteor and go right back into Mega Scizor, as that is exactly what happens. So I can see, this Latios is probably going to want to switch at this point. I forget if this Scizor has a U-turn. This battle was so long ago. No, I'm just going to go for Roost because Scizor is my Draco Meteor taker. So in comes Cofagrigus. I could go for a knockoff if I have it. I'm not sure if I do, but I don't want to get Wisped, so it's right back to Politoed to take a Wisp. This Politoed has Rest, so I'm just going to go right for that, I guess. I don't want to dick around. I got Rest and Sleep Talk on this one, I believe, so he should have a bit of a tough time getting rid of it. He knocks off Damp Rock, which kind of is a bummer, but at the same time, because I was expecting Sun, I think I have backup Rain on this team in terms of Quagsire having Rain Dance, so even if Politoed goes down or like something happens and I can't get it in and set up Rain, I should be okay. Manaphy should have been my dedicated Will-O-Wisp taker, but unfortunately it was not, because obviously with hydration, isn't really bothered by it. I tried to switch it into Cofagrigus, but he went into Rotom instead, and I don't want to take a Volt Switch. I want to keep Manaphy at as high of hit points as possible, as he's just going to Volt Switch out, obviously, and in comes Venusaur. This is just regular Venusaur. It can't be Mega because that is not his Mega. His Mega is Houndoom. So I'm just going to go in for a Sludge Bomb as he tried to Leech Seed something coming in, but I'm not threatened, so I've got really nowhere to go and no reason to leave. There's my backup Rain. It is on a Moongus, not Quagsire. Right here, I'm really just sticking around to see what move he wants to keep going for. If he wants to go for a Sleep Powder, it'll be blocked because I'm a Grass type, and he's not likely to go for it again after he fails, so It's really just a Sludge Bomb war until I can see that he's in a Sludge Bomb war, and I'll be able to get my Tornadus in because his Rotom's getting kind of worn down. This Venusaur, it's not going to want to stick around, so something's going to take a Hurricane. He does stick around with Venusaur and just sacks it. I guess he was expecting maybe a superpower, expecting me to expect Rotom, but instead it just goes down, and his Rotom probably could have taken a couple of those, so interesting move. I guess he was predicting me to predict, but that wasn't happening. Anyway, I let Amoonguss get burned right there, which is probably not the wisest choice, but because I obviously could have gone to Manaphy, I could have gone to Politoed, but those things don't want to get Volt switched, and eventually, you know, Amoonguss is probably going to get burned on it at some point, so it may as well be while it's at full HP. I'm going to go for a Spore. It's the best thing. He Volt switches out into Lucario, and that is a fantastic thing to get to sleep because it'll allow me to switch out into something that can deal with it. Right now, my best option, I think, is Politoed. I'll be able to set up my Rain. I'll be able to go for Sleep Talk and hopefully get a Scald. That would be fantastic. However, he gets a one turn Wake, and he's able to get up a Sword Stance. That's really not good news as I Sleep Talk or Rest, and that's really, really not good news. So at this point, like, Politoed just has to go down. I need a free switch out into Kabutops, and I didn't see Life Orb. I didn't see anything, and he's still at full HP, so I told him in the chat, like, you're fucking sashed, aren't you? But and he told me he wasn't, and he wound up to not be lying. He said he was Expert Belt, which I think a Focus Sash might have won him the game because he would have gotten another Bullet Punch off, and he would have been in very good position with a +2 Lucario. Anyway, I got kind of a bullshit flinch right there, and I'm able to finish off his physical wall, I'm guessing, with Stone Edge, even after Rain wears off. And now, Kabutops, you served your purpose. You went on a little mini sweep there, but no, your day is done. Anyway, Rain is gone, but I do pack Air Slash on this guy specifically for this purpose, and there's a bullshit Draco Meteor miss. So I kind of get a bit lucky with Air Slash. I even get a crit on that turn, so it's just kind of salt in the wound. I'm getting very lucky. And at this point, Kyle, he just doesn't have offense enough left. Like, he's got a defensive Rotom, but and I think that's it. So he's just not going to have enough power to take down my guys. I'm going to be able to get up Rain. I'm going to be able to deal with it with something. So kind of a rush narration. I'm sorry about that, but you know, I'm running out of time here. So you know, this game wasn't meant to happen. I'm going to wind up with a 2-0. His Rotom is actually going to kind of beast it a little bit, and it's going to be a lot harder to take out than I thought. But and I get a bit hasty. I get a bit impatient trying to take the thing down. But because we didn't play the game, I was awarded a 3-0 victory. I wound up winning the game 2-0, so it's an extra point of differential, which is kind of cool, but a bit unfair for Kyle, really, because I don't think he could control his absence. And you know, it wound up being close enough anyway, so it's not really a big deal in my opinion. But it was a good game, Kyle. It was entertaining. Again, sorry about the rush narration, but I'm trying to hammer some of these out, trying to get caught up so that I can be all caught up for when you know, I'm coming up into a big 3-game series. I'm playing Steve, I'm playing Shady, and then I'm playing Steve again. All three of the both of those guys, all three of those games are divisional games. They're all big. Those are a big 3 games. If I can win 2 out of those 3 games, I can almost guarantee myself a playoff spot. So big playoff implications. It's enough motivation for me to try and get caught up, especially right in time for that. So playoffs are around the corner. Everyone's trying to prepare. Everyone's trying to. We're over the midway point of the season. Like, it's been week 8. It's been 8 weeks. 8 out of 14. We're almost there. So there, I just got hydro pumped in the face trying to take this thing out. Anyway, Rotom Wash is a beast. I forgot what we got traded for, but it got traded for something like not as beastly. And Manaphy sweeps, not a sweep. Manaphy gets the cleanup kill. So good game, Kyle. You know, not having a great season, are you, buddy?